Hey there, welcome back to another video. This time it is another DVD and Blu-ray update. I also got one book I want to show you as well. I'm going to make this probably pretty quick or as fast as I can because I'm not 100%. I guess I caught a cold or a sinus infection recently, so if I sound like I'm stuffed up a little bit, that's why. Um, but I got the brunt of it yesterday, and I'm feeling better today. Not good enough to do another review, but good enough to do something like this. So I can give you something to snack on this Halloween. Before I get into the update, I want to apologize for not being able to get around to doing as many of the horror anthology reviews as I had planned this month. Um, Things kind of got in the way in terms of work and school, and then you have this kind of thing that I've been dealing with for the past couple days. But the plan is I'm going to go through the entire list of anthologies that I decided to put together and then get to a whole slew of 2019 horror films. That's the plan for this the rest of this month, which is not going to be. I mean, really, it's just this is the last day of the month, so that's the plan for November. Maybe some bonus random stuff as well. Basically, I'm just doing what I want to do, and that's the best way for me to continue to have the same passion for each video that I do. Um, Appreciate all your support. Appreciate all the comments. I appreciate the views. Um, and I'm gonna try to pump out more content. It's just been one of those things where I've just been having a lot of things on my plate, and it's also been a little bit difficult for me to get back in the swing of things. But I think I'm starting to get there. Some of my more recent stuff, I think, is some pretty decent videos. Also, uh, the next video I'm going to be doing is going to be a review of Creepshow the series, season one, because the last episode aired today, so I'm going to have the opportunity to watch all six and give my thoughts on them in a later video. Then I have some more horror anthologies set up. I saw Tales from the Hood for the first time in years, and for the most part, I really enjoyed it. So that's going to be an upcoming review, along with a rant on Tales from the Hood 2, which was incredibly disappointing considering Darren Scott, the producer of Tales from the Hood, worked on the sequel, and Rusty Cundiff, who directed the first film, uh, he directed Tales from the Hood 2, but I'll save that for later. And then I have plans on reviewing just a whole bunch of random horror anthologies: Body Bags, Necronomicon, Book of the Dead, um, Nightmares, the 1983 film, Dead of Night, the I think it's a 40s film, one of the first horror anthologies ever produced. Some newer ones like Nightmare Cinema, some other classics that I still haven't seen, like Trick or Treat, some requests like Tales of Halloween, which my good friend Matt Rambarat for Life wanted to hear my thoughts on, and yeah, so that's my upcoming slate is a bunch of horror anthologies that I'm going to be working on doing reviews on for November. And then after that, just random 2019 horror films like Child's Play, the remake, Ma, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, The Furies, Wounds, and a bunch of other ones that sounded interesting to me. Just something that just a way to kind of spice things up and uh, review some new stuff and some independent horror, like Itsy Bitsy and stuff like that, and some random stuff in between of titles or shows or whatever I want to talk about. So without further stalling, let's get to the DVD and Blu-ray update. I'm going to start with a box set for the DVDs. Um, this is one of many box sets I picked up fairly recently. This I got from a Facebook group for a good deal. This is the Hammer Collection. This is a UK release from Optimum, home releasing, and I got a really good deal on it. It's a really cool looking set. It's yeah, I really like the design of this set. It's not really the most practical in terms of like storage, but it's a pretty cool set. It reminds me a lot, and as I almost drop it on the floor, it comes with postcards of various different films and a booklet. This set opens up like this, and I'm going to try to show it without like falling everywhere. It opens up like that, and these are all cases that have DVDs in them with various different titles. So, and I like this is I've always liked this X-Files DVD set I have is set up like this. I think it's a really cool and unique way to put together a box set. So this one has She, The Nanny, Dracula, Prince of Darkness, The Plague of Zombies, The Plague of the Zombies, and Rasputin the Mad Monk. And then book 2 has The Reptile, The Witches, 1 Million Years BC, The Viking Queen, Frankenstein Created Woman. And then book 3 has Quartermass in the Pit, The Vengeance of She, The Devil Rides Out, Prehistoric Women, Scars of Dracula. And then book 4, because there's 5 books total, has The Horror of Frankenstein, Blood from the Mummy's Tomb, Straight On Till Morning, Fear in the Night, Demons of the Mind, and To the Devil a Daughter. And then the 5th and final, well, actually book 4 is the final one. I was mistaken because the box, this is what the box looks like without the books in there. So there's 4 total books with a good chunk of film. I think it has is it 6 films in each set. So there's a good amount of content here. And I'm pretty new to Hammer. In fact, I am very new to Hammer. So I thought this was a good deal and a good way to start the collection is with this particular box set. So yeah, that's the Hammer Collection, the 21 disc collector's set. Actually, I don't think all of them have 6 discs. Some have 6, other ones don't. This has audio commentaries, has some interviews of the cast and the crew, has a documentary about the death of Hammer films. But yeah, this is the Hammer Collection. My guess is if you're a fan of the Hammer films, you already have this. Especially if you're region free or you live in the UK. This is a region locked box set, so you have to have a region free player in order to play it. So now we have some random DVDs. I got these from various different places. These are ones I got from Goodwill. So this is The Year of Living Dangerously with Mel Gibson and Sigourney Weaver. Directed by Peter Weir. Heard a lot of good things about this one. Decided to pick it up. Cuffs with Christian Slater and Mila Jovovich. Seems like a fun movie. It's also got Tony Goldwyn in it. It's got a lot of moments where there's fourth wall breaks, similar to Deadpool. Lady Blood Fight. This is just Lady Bloodsport. Like, let's just be honest. Let's just call it Lady Bloodsport. She goes and fights in the Kumite. Like, I mean, I don't even know why they didn't just call it Lady Bloodsport. Like, just embrace your Bloodsport rip-off roots. Don't beat around the bush. Valerian, pick this up because I like Luc Besson and I'm kind of curious about it just for the visuals. And a lot of the DVD releases for these newer films convert pretty well, so that was a good deal. The Will Ferrell Legend Collection. This has all 3 volumes of the best of SNL DVDs of Will Ferrell's time on Saturday Night Live. To be honest, I do really enjoy his SNL work. I don't think the show has really been the same since he and a bunch of other cast members left decades ago. Here we have Flight of the Black Angel, which I think is a really underrated thriller. Thankfully, this is region free, so if you are curious about giving this a look, This is a Region Zero release, so you can pick it up and check it out. I highly recommend it. It's a really good TV thriller. Carnosaur 2, because I actually like the sequel and I got a pretty good deal on it. I'm really glad to finally have this in my collection. This is my favorite Carnosaur film. And essentially it's aliens, or similar to something like Aliens, but with dinosaurs. Carnosaur 3 is similar to that as well. But I would say this one's a little bit better. But I do enjoy Carnosaur 3 as well, and I would like to get that too. But yeah, I'm glad to get this. It would be nice to see this series get released on Blu-ray, at least for the sequels. I don't really care for the first one, but if it comes as a pack, alright. Speaking of a pack of movies, this is the 12 film pack of Girls, Guns, and G-Strings. This has the Andy Sedaris film collection. I got it because I think it might be dumb fun. Heard that these films are kind of dumb fun. They recently released this series. I think it's separate Blu-rays, but I'm fine with the DVDs, to be honest, because I've never seen any of these movies. So, Girls, Guns, and G-Strings, Necromancer, Image Home Entertainment release. I got a really good deal on this from a Facebook seller, and it was brand new, unopened. This is a director's cut. For a DVD from 1999, this looks pretty good. This looks really good for the time it was released in terms of picture quality. Another Tartan Asia Extreme film for the collection, Coma. Got it because it was cheap and looked kind of interesting to me. I'd like to do a marathon one of these days on just the Tartan Asian Extreme films they have. She Creature for the Stan Winston Creature Features collection. Wasp Woman, the remake. Because honestly, I've always been kind of curious about it because I thought the trailer... I mean, this doesn't look like a great movie. It looks like it might be a fun film in terms of so bad it's good. But I've always been interested in seeing Jennifer Rubin as a lead. And I do remember not minding the makeup effects. So that's another reason why I decided to pick it up. Also, it was really cheap. Here we have Suck, a film that actually looks like it could be a gem. Looks like it could be fun. I like the concept of a struggling rock band who has one of their members who's I think it's the female member of the band. She gets bitten by a vampire, so she turns into a vampire, and her new look and her vampirism attract people to watch the band, and so they decide to go all vampire, and that leads to them becoming bigger than ever. And of course, also having to deal with the trials and tribulations of being a vampire, and also having a rock band. So, I don't know, it looks like it might be a fun heavy metal horror type of movie with an interesting take on vampires that you really don't see that much of, especially with that kind of setting or that particular plot. Here we have a DC animated film, Justice League War. It was only 50 cents. I thought it was a good deal for that. A horror film called The Day. Another one I got for pretty cheap, mainly because I want to see how Sean Ashmore carries the film. I think WWE Studios is someone involved with it as well. Then we have the first season of the ATeam. Because I've heard a lot about this show, and I've seen a few episodes on cable, but I haven't really checked out the show that much. And I like picking up seasons of shows when I can for cheap, especially starting from the first season. So if I end up liking it, then I can, pick up later seasons down the road. So that's the ATeam season 1. This is the Godzilla Collection. This is a box set that is still out of print, but it's not worth as much as it initially was for years because of Criterion's recent release. This is the Showa era Godzilla films. I've never seen any of these other than the first Godzilla, so I jumped at a chance to pick this up from a seller online for a really good price, so I could have more Godzilla films for my collection and not pay an arm and a leg. I don't want to get the Blu-ray if I haven't seen the films. So I thought this would just be a good start, just to get this set that has Gojira, which is original Godzilla, Godzilla and King of Monsters, Godzilla Raids Again, Mothra vs. Godzilla, Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, Invasion of the Astro Monster, All Monsters Attack, and Terror of Mecha Godzilla. So this is the Godzilla Collection. And this is, I think, a re-release that doesn't have the titles in their individual slips. So they're all in cases like this with the same cover art. But, I thought it was a good deal regardless for a Godzilla beginner. Now we're getting the Blu-rays. I have another DVD box set, but I'm going to save that for last because it's pretty big. These are... So the first box set I want to show you is one that I've been highly anticipating since I heard its announcement. Batman Beyond, the complete series on Blu-ray. This is out of the case, the box, which if I have one bone to pick with Warner Brothers, well, I got another one too with this set, but I'll talk about it later. I would say their packaging is a waste of space and a waste of resources. The box for this is ginormous, and it's only that big so they can fit a Funko Pop in there. That's the only reason why it's that big. So it just comes across as just a waste. I get it. They made it that big for the Funko Pop, but now you have a box that takes up way too much space on your shelf. So you end up taking the set out of the box because it just takes up way too much space. The same thing happened with their Batman animated series box set. I just took the book out of the case because it just takes up too much space otherwise. And speaking of book, this is a lot cheaper in terms of its in terms of how it's put together than the really high quality book that Batman the Animated Series got for its limited edition. This is as cheap as you could possibly get in terms of a case. Like this, I don't even know if this is even different than the DVD case that they recently did fairly recently with the complete series. It doesn't seem like it's that different. It looks like they've recycled almost the exact same thing, but they just put Blu-rays in there. There's some other cool stuff in this set. There's some lenticular cards, but I put them in storage somewhere, so I don't really want to get them right now. Despite my druthers, it's still absolutely worth it if you're a fan of this series. The show has never looked or sounded better. I only flipped through the first couple episodes just to see what it looks like on my 4K TV, and it's stunning. So, yeah, it definitely does benefit from the upconversion, for sure. That's Batman the Animated Series, Batman Beyond the Animated Series. Perfect companion piece to Batman the Animated Series. And these are both shows that I would love to do videos on sometime. I don't know if it's going to be anytime soon, but I do want to do that sometime because I really do love those shows. I really do adore these animated series for the most part. Although Batman Beyond and Batman Animated Series have some low points, overall they're pretty high up there. This series, on the other hand, is full of massive low points. But I got this set because I'm a fan of Vinegar Syndrome. I like their work, and I wanted to support their first ever box set. Plus, there's a particular film in this series that I actually like, so I wanted to get that on Blu-ray. So this is the Amityville The Cursed collection from Vinegar Syndrome. So this is, yes, it's an Amityville horror box set that has the Amityville sequels in it. Amityville 4, Amityville 1992, Amityville A New Generation, and Amityville Dollhouse. It does not have Amityville Curse, though. That's only available overseas on DVD. I have a copy of that. In fact, I have all the Amityville films on DVD, except for The Awakening, which I got on Blu-ray recently. Not recently, a few months ago. But I'm probably gonna keep those just for the collection, and just so Amityville Curse isn't just by itself. But regardless, this is a really cool looking set. It's actually quite gorgeous in terms of its structure and its presentation. You open it up like this, and then you have like this red and black design here. My lighting is not really doing things the best. It's not really doing things justice. I apologize, but it's just the best I can do right now. Um, and then they all are in individual Blu-ray cases. So you have Amityville 4, The Evil Escapes. This has, and this is the best that any of these films have ever looked. Like, these are all restored, remastered 4K and 4K 35 millimeter negative prints. Like, it's really impressive. Like, you'll never see a TV movie look as good as Amityville 4 The Evil Escapes does. Amityville 1992, It's About Time, my favorite. The reason why I got this. Never looked better. There are some features, not a whole lot. Like, there's an interview with Tony Randall on this one. They interview the producer, Chris D. Faria, for almost pretty much every release except for Dollhouse. Dollhouse has, I would probably say, the most features because it has the most video interviews with people involved with the film. New Generation has some decent stuff too. It even has an audio commentary. Yeah, it's the only one that has an audio commentary track. It is Amityville: A New Generation. But yeah, so this Amityville 4, Amityville 1992, It's About Time, Amityville: A New Generation, and they have reversible cover art. I switched them to the original video release artwork because I just prefer them that way. But yeah, really cool box set. If you're a fan of these films or you're curious about them and you want to spend the money, definitely recommend it. If you're not, I would probably say don't spend the high price tag on this because I don't think it's going to be worth it. But yes, one of these days I do want to do reviews of the Amityville films, but I'm only gonna do from the original up to The Awakening. I'm not counting any of the unofficial spin-offs. I'm not doing that shit. So the Amityville Cursed Collection. And it's called that because this is the series that was all about cursed objects that were found in the Amityville house. So here we have the Second Sight limited edition Blu-ray of Flight of the Navigator. I think I showed this already, but wanted to show it again because it's really a great looking set. Then we have Arrow Video's recent release of An American Werewolf in London. This is easily the best release of the film out there. It's got a new 4K remaster of the film, which is supervised by John Landis. I believe it's 4K. It's a new restoration. You've got the case itself, which has reversible cover art. I switched it to the original poster. You've got lobby cards and the reproductions of the lobby cards. This is what the disc looks like itself. And this is loaded with features. It's got all the features from the previous releases of the film, including some new stuff. And one of the new things is actually an entirely new feature-length documentary on the film. And it's just loaded with features. I could probably spend a long time just talking about the features alone, or at least revealing them to you, but I'm not going to. Check it out yourself. This is the booklet that comes with it, with exclusive writing on the film and photos and stuff like that. This is the quintessential ultimate release of this film. If you are a fan of American Werewolf in London, then this is a poster. This is a release. This is the release that you absolutely must own. And I am in awe of Arrow a lot, and I'm so glad that they finally got the chance to do a box set for this film. Definitely worth the wait. And another title that was worth the wait is Scream Factory's collector's edition of The Blob. This is something that, I can't believe I'm actually holding this because I thought this was never going to happen because of Twilight Time. They're the ones that did the previous release, but apparently their rights their deal with Sony expired, so Scream Factory came in and saved the day and put out this. Now, I will say this: it would have been nice to have seen a 2K or 4K remaster of the film, but Sony did not allow Scream Factory to do that. So we just have the same release from the same print from the Twilight Time release. Thankfully, though, it's actually quite a good print. It's quite a good transfer, so it's not that bad. This has a new audio commentary track with Chuck Russell, the cinematographer, the special effects artist Tony Gardner. It also has a commentary track with Shawnee Smith, who apparently wasn't interviewed for this, but she did do a commentary. It's got new interviews with Chuck Russell, the production designer, special effects artists. Donovan Leitich is interviewed, Bill Moseley, and a few other people. I think it's got the old audio commentary track as well from the original release by Twilight Time. And it has reversible cover art, so you can use the original. Although I wish I could reverse it to the home video poster, the one that I have on my wall, because I like that more than this. But you know, this was technically the original poster art, so I'm not gonna complain. But yeah, I'm so glad that this finally got released. Nothing with Kevin Dillon, which is disappointing, but still absolutely worth it. And I actually really like this cover art. I know it's gotten a lot of shit, but I actually really like it. I think it's pretty cool. So, yeah. Really looking forward to diving into these features one of these days. And I don't think I've reviewed it. I think I've reviewed it in the past, but I think I need to do another review of this anyway. So that might be coming down the pike pretty soon as well. Because I'm a super big fan of the Blob remake. Then we have some more Blu-rays. This is a 4K release of Toy Story 4. I only have this because I messed up and did not decline my feature title for my Disney Movie Club. So I got charged for this, and it was sent to me, and I didn't know that I messed up until I got it in the mail. So, you know, but hey, I like Toy Story. I have the other three. So, I mean, there's worse things that my money could have been spent on. So this is Toy Story 4 and 4K. And we have some titles that I got from it was like a buy one get one, or buy one get one deal from oldies.com. Not oldies.com, it was Deep Discount, and it was for Olive Films. So I finally got my hands on Stone Cold on Blu-ray with the Boz and War, which I've heard a lot of crazy things about. And I might have shown those before. If I have, I apologize. Along with this one, Love at First Bite, Once Bitten. Really enjoy Love at First Bite. It's one of my favorite comedies from the 70s, and just one of my favorite horror comedies, period. Picked this up because this is going out of print. This is one of the Scream Factory MGM releases that's going out of print, and I like Destroyer, so I wanted to pick this up before it went out of print, and I didn't have to pay an arm and a leg for it. So there's that. Forgive me. Like I said, I'm still dealing with like a sinus infection or something, or you know, I'm not 100%, but I'm trying to at least provide you with something. So this is a release I did not even know came out recently until a friend of mine mentioned it to me on Facebook. This really came under the radar, and I'm glad he mentioned it to me, because finally have Deep Space on Blu-ray. This is Scorpion releasing release of Deep Space. This has an audio commentary with the director Fred Olen Ray and a new remaster, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the film with a new print, because it's been stuck with a really bad VHS rip for decades. This is a gem, if you ask me. This has its problems. It's definitely a low budget affair. It's got some plot threads that are in. It's got some acting that isn't the best, but it makes up for it with some fun lines of dialogue and some legitimately impressive practical effects for a low budget, and just a batshit insane finale. I mean, you got Charles Napier with a chainsaw fighting an alien. Like it's as awesome as it sounds. So trust me, if you're a fan of like genre films like this, definitely give this a watch sometime. I highly recommend it. But if you do, turn your brain off and understand it's a B movie, because that's 100% what this is. So that's Deep Space. I got the Addams Family films on Blu-ray. This is the original release. I got it because it was cheaper than the re-release, and it's not anything different than the re-release. The only thing different is that the re-release has new cover art and a slipcover. That's it. There's no new features or anything, which is bullshit. It sucks that there's no features available for the Addams Family films. Nobody decided to interview Raul Julia before he passed away. Nobody decided to do any of these things. There's no behind the scenes footage. What is going on? Like this film was a really big hit, and finally, Addams Family Values is on Blu-ray, and I'm really glad for that. I mean, because I legitimately love this film. I think it's better than the first Addams Family, to be perfectly honest, but it gets the same bare bones treatment. It doesn't even have the original cover art, which I would have preferred. And the print is decent. It's definitely better than the DVD, but there's nothing. There's no features. I don't even know if the trailer is even on here. I think it is, but regardless, it's just a letdown. In my opinion, the Addams Family films deserve better. Hopefully, it would be nice to see Scream Factory get the rights and do Addams Family films. With features, but probably won't happen because Paramount just released them again for the Halloween season. And the only reason why they released Addams Family Values on Blu-ray finally is because of the new Addams Family movie. Here's some Second Sight Films releases that I picked up: Next of Kin and Possession. I might have shown them before, but I just wanted to make sure to show them now, and just in case I forgot. These are all Blu-rays I got from a seller who shall not be named, who is awesome, who doesn't make bootleg Blu-rays. If you ask me, he makes unofficial Blu-rays because they are high quality. So this is Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday. This has the original unrated director's cut of the film on there, as well as it doesn't have the theatrical version, but it also has the work print on there and various different special features. And it looks really good, and I really like this cover art that he used as well. Alone in the Dark. This has the same features that are on the DVD and a legitimately good transfer. Like this is actual legit 1080p. And then we have the Black Cauldron. This also looks really good. It has way more features than Disney will ever put on their official release. I guarantee it. It's got 3 different featurettes from back in the day, including a Donald Duck short, Trick or Treat, that I think played with the film. And then we have the original War of the Worlds, which is mastered in 4K. This one, it has a ton of features as well, and it looks quite good. And I've actually never seen the original War of the Worlds, so that's a pretty good deal. And 2 of these I got for free because he had a delay on the package that I purchased from him because something was going on with the post office. So, because I only ordered Alone in the Dark and Jason Goes to Hell, and then he just surprised me and threw in these 2 for free. So, more than made up for the wait. I really do hope one day he actually gets an official job working with some Blu-ray releasing company. Whether it's an independent company or someone, because this guy just really knows what he's doing. He's an absolute master at making custom Blu-rays. So these aren't custom, but these are ones I got for cheap from a record shop. We got Zombieland, we got Hardcore Henry, which I only had on DVD, so I'm really glad to get this on Blu-ray. The Hangover, which I actually legitimately really enjoy. The Hangover Part 2, which I've heard bad things about, but actually haven't seen yet. The Patriots with Mel Gibson, Life, Jake Gyllenhaal, and End of Days with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which is one of Arnold's most underrated films, and I've been wanting to get it on Blu-ray for a while, so I jumped at the chance to pick that up. And the last 2 things is a box set. I got this from eBay for like 45 bucks shipped. This is the Universal Classic Monsters Collection. All 30 films in this DVD collection that has like Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, Invisible Man, Wolfman, Phantom of the Opera, Creature from the Black Lagoon. My favorite Universal monster is Creature from the Black Lagoon. I have the original Universal box set release of the Creature films, but I didn't have the others. And since these are such old films, I highly doubt the Blu-rays are going to be that much of an improvement over the DVDs up converted to HD on my player. So this was a good deal for me, so I went for it. At the time, this was twice as much on Amazon, and the Blu-ray set was way too expensive. So that's why I picked up the Universal Monsters box set. I'd like to get the other Hammer box set, the one that has Curse of the Werewolf and a few others for the collection. But other than that, that's really all the classic monster stuff that I want to get, or Hammer or Universal. And speaking of classics, this is the last thing I'm going to show you for this update. And I did mention a book, and I definitely want to point this out. This is Taking Shape. This is Developing Halloween from Script to Screen by Dustin McNeil and Travis Mullins. And Dustin McNeil, I don't know if Travis Mullins worked on it as well, but he worked on the excellent book Phantasm Exhumed, which, if you're a fan of the Phantasm films, or just a fan of retrospective making of books, period, I highly recommend that one. And so he took a stab at the Halloween franchise with this one, with Taking Shape. And I got this from Amazon. It's on sale right now. You can get it for like 21, 23 bucks shipped, depending on if you have taxes in your area or not. This talks about deleted scenes. It's a comprehensive story analysis on the entire series. It also gives you exclusive details on the original Halloween 3 script by Nigel Neal. Comparisons of early scripts to the final film. Interview with the screenwriter of Halloween 5, Michael Jacobs. Bunch of other interviews with other people involved with the series. Exhaustive account of Halloween 6 troubled production. The examination of H2O's roots as a direct-to-video sequel, which I don't even remember that being the case. Also talks about the Rob Zombie era. And even has an in-depth insight into all of the novelizations, which I thought was one of the selling points for me, because I have all 4, and I've always been curious to hear what the authors had to say about them, and he actually interviews the authors in the novelizations, so that's something I'm really curious about giving a look and reading about. But yeah, this is Taking Shape, Developing Halloween from script to screen. If you are a reader and you like horror and you like Halloween, I would definitely recommend this. And it's affordable right now, so... And you never know with these kind of books. They can be affordable right now and then go out of print and be ridiculously expensive. So I would recommend getting it now while you can for an affordable price. Because I'm still kicking myself for not getting the Making of Big Trouble in Little China book, because now it's like over $300 used. So I'm like shit out of luck in terms of getting that. Hopefully that gets a re-release, because the art book's getting a re-release. So I'm hoping the Making of book gets a re-release. But we'll see. We shall see. Oh, and speaking of that, yes, I am aware of the Big Trouble in Little China Collector's Edition by Scream Factory. I already pre-ordered my copy through Amazon, because as soon as I found out they got Dennis Dunn, and they got a few other people involved for interviews, that was it for me. And so I'm definitely looking forward to that. Another release I'm looking forward to is April Fool's Day, because they officially announced it today that they are, in fact, going to be doing April Fool's Day sometime next spring. So I'm super psyched for that. And anyway, yeah, that's my video. This is my Halloween edition of a DVD and Blu-ray update. I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you all have a happy Halloween. See ya.